Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Yes, what is to be shared? Any point? Everybody is looking at you.
Yesterday you mentioned that we all have a very individual journey. Every journey is unique.
She said, you mentioned that every journey is unique yesterday.
How do we evaluate whether we are progressing on the journey?
How to evaluate whether we are
On the journey? We're progressing.
Because everybody's path is unique. There cannot be a general guidance as to what should be the outcome. But we have seen in the lives of people who have reached the highest, how do they live? How do they react? How do they talk? Even how do they sit? Then we find that there is a touch of love in everything, a touch of perfection in everything, touch of dedication in everything, touch of gratitude in everything. For example, many of them know, but since you may not know that, sometime in 1999, when Pujya Swamiji's 50th year of dedication, devotees decided to have some celebration. Here there is no celebration, but at that time, and they wanted to bring out a souvenir. We were all involved in that. Without informing Swamiji, we started doing it because to whom so many problems are there. How many devotees can be approached? They may write their personal in what way is going to help a sadhaka. So many hurdles were there. But almost when we sorted out everything, we wanted Swamiji's message. So we went to his room, and we have got freedom with him, 100%. So we gave him the writing pad and a paper, clipped to that. Swamiji, we want a message. What message? The souvenir is now slowly in the brewing. What souvenir? Something. Why all these things? Somebody wanted, so we have taken it up. So we want a message. Forget about all those things. We want a message. And we gave him the writing pad. Unruled paper. Okay. We gave him the pen. Even the very act of opening the pen is also nice to see. And then he started writing. There were, if you remember right, more than 25 lines in one go. There was no overwriting, the nil mistake, and the most important factor is the distance between the two lines were even throughout that. And finally, his nature is like that. Then he said, you read it, if it's okay, you tell me. That very act. There are so many. I'm just giving you some example. That means somebody wanted, he is detaching himself from the personality. Somebody wanted, God prompted him to say that, and God, he provides all these things, you have to write. God. And every time, because this touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of dedication, and touch of gratitude is writ large in him, as soon as you saw that, we did not bring it out, the text. We bring out the facsimile as if he has written. For example, how in Puja Mataji's room things were kept. We all used to come, You will never find in a half-assed way. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. Don't think it is out of discipline. No. They are not even aware that is being done. It has become their nature. In Papa's case, when he was asked by his grandson of people, what is his will now? You say everything happens only by his will, his will, his will. What is his will now? Spontaneously, Papa says, Ramdas will get up, go to the carpentry shed, and overseeing the work, comes back, sit in the Panchavadi, wait for the evening mail. That means every moment, the will and the life is one. There is no separate thing. We all feel spiritual discipline is different. Spiritual discipline is different. Spiritual discipline is different. And we have to attain that. For us, it is okay. But these are all the things which make us to know that there is no difference. The entire life becomes an expression of their God's presence. And suppose you like this, immediately, you will come back. You have not applied your full mind on this. God gave you this, and you are ignoring it. So this is how we can evaluate. You take a glass, you take a paper, you take a book, you take anything. You are talking, somebody else comes to your room, whether you are prioritizing it or equally asking them to sit. Each one is coming with a different background. He may not know that your room is crowded with so many people. So that means recognizing anything and everything. So all these things will be the outcome of our spiritual discipline. And another tangible thing is that we will be more relaxed. More and more relaxed. Because the grip of the me and mind, when it loosens, that relaxation slowly starts coming. Then the grip is more, we become tensed. So these are all some of the indications we have seen. And I'm talking about the three Mahatmas here. We also had the privilege of seeing ordinary people who have not undergone any such spiritual discipline. But these four qualities, touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of dedication, touch of gratitude, we have seen unlettered people. They will not compromise on the quality. Direct experience we have, because we have seen these people. They won't tom-tom, they won't utter a word about spirituality, but spirituality has become their very life. So when this question is asked, they all parade before our mind. Not necessarily people whom we have named as Mahatmas. There are many, many, many such people. They are revealing this without any, outer forms. Many, many. So when we first read Papa's quotation, the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. Then one by one, previously we were appreciating them as individual. Now we know God made us to get in touch with them, observe them, so that the process of one getting refined, by constantly seeing goodness, the culture develops inside. You cannot but be good. So with that background, when we start seeing anything and everything, even I was just coming out of the room, a peculiar word, we have not seen it at all. Very nice, beautiful word. It was coming. So we were reluctant to open the door. And finally, without making any noise, we opened. It was there, unperturbed. And then looked, and then went to the next tree. From there, it was looking. So that tranquility was teaching us. Don't think that only human beings, I can express this through any form. But we must have this perspective behind it. Then only we will be able to watch all these things. Let's say nobody, in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked the same question, what you asked. Sthitaprajnasya ka bhasha. How does he sit? How does he talk? How does he move? Then he gives out 18 points. Those are all theory. We can learn and we can reproduce. But only when we try to see it in the creation. Otherwise, it's a knowledge, that's all. But some clues he has given. He did not say that those who are wearing hawker clothes, those who are sannyasis, no. He only said, the first line, if you remember right, Dukkeshu anidvigamana, Sukheshu vikataspraha, Vita raga bhaya krodha, Stitadhir. Those who are even in Sukha and Dukkha, pleasure and pain, those who are free from anger, fear, anger, and attachment. Some clues. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. So then to them, he is a man of steady wisdom. So he used to keep on telling this. He is a man of steady wisdom, steady wisdom. Sthita Pratna. English is the steady wisdom, it cannot be translated more than that. But Sthita Pratna. Pratna stands for God, consciousness. Sthita Pratna. One who is established in that. How does he speak? How does he talk? How does he sit? So that knowledge will help us, but we should see that the knowledge in persons, objects, situations. So that you get a tendency to watch on these lines. So we feel that could be the method for moving toward the goal. And the funniest part is we cannot treat it as a method. Even that word is wrong. Because I am there, Here the method and the person observing method becomes one. So that means he will not be even conscious of the method. If the me is there, then finished. So it comes spontaneously. So when we meet anybody, suppose we have this in our mind, chota thing, small things we will be able to connect up. And it gives us immense joy. Not to praise them or to elucidate, but it has its own positive effect on our thinking system.
Inward journey, that is to know the self.
Inward journey?
Inward journey is to know the self.
Yeah. Only through inward journey this can be understood. Only through inward journey. Otherwise, what happens,
Can you explain?
You talk lovingly, okay. You do lovingly. Thinking I may not know. Then I will attribute that goodness to you as an individual. But only through inward journey we come to know that it is the power that is making you to do that. Otherwise, my gratitude is towards that individual, appreciation towards that individual. It has some effect, but it will not have the desired result. Because we are to see the finger of him, So for that, Papa is asking us to go within and find out who really we are. When he has promised that when we know that who we really we are, we will be able to know who others are. Because it's not knowing, when we realize who we really are, then we will be able to realize who others are. Inward journey is a must. Antarika yatra. Must. Outer discipline enables us to take the inward journey. Straight away you cannot. Eh?
Daily life,
Oh.
how do I understand the reality and illusion?
In daily life, how do I understand reality and illusion?
In daily life.
In daily
The easiest method here is there is no illusion. We are to see him in anything, So why do we unnecessarily torture our intellect to separate this? Everything is his, why not we accept it? Everything is his. Please make me understand that. My gaining, my losing. My becoming healthy, my becoming sickly. My rights, my wrongs, my likes, my dislikes. These are the pairs, I have not brought anything in this world. So he has given me. And he made me to put this label. But behind that, like that, here, that is how the approach. Behold a divinity in every aspect of this world, Leela. These are his quotation. Verily, it is he who is behind everything. Okay. But our mind has already conceived that this is like, our sleep. Sleep is an illusion, waking state is a reality. Then we try to understand what is that. During the dream state, it is real for us. It becomes unreal or illusion only when you come out of it. So the answer is, when we come out of that only, so even this question comes, if we can say it is in that state, because I don't know who really I am. I have identified myself with a projected image of myself. So however much I try, will I be able to get the answer? When you came to this world, you were not having any name. For administrative purposes, naming ceremony was done, because otherwise how will you manage? Please come. Everybody will look. So I will consider it as an administrative measure. But we have identified ourselves so much with the name. You just tell my name. If you want there, you just go and tell. So you are identifying yourself totally with the name. You know now the name was, you did not announce to the world when you came, I am so and so coming. Just think about it. You can see your body. You can feel your body. Your head, you can. Your face, your chest, your legs, your hands, your such of the organs which you can experience. All this put together is, that means you are different from the body, your body. But still, we identify ourselves with this body. We know various thoughts are coming and going in us. Thought flow is called the mind. Good thought, bad thought, constructive thought, destructive thought, elevating thought, depressing thought. So many. We know that. Hey, yesterday I could not have sleep at all. We'll say that. One after another. That means you know the thoughts. So how can you be the thoughts then? In this way, suppose we start analyzing it, then also we will come to know the real me and the assumed me. And then we will ask, who is asking this question? These are all some of the ways by which we could get some idea about it. From the Vedantic standpoint, that which stays forever, Nityam. That is the reality. That which is subject to changes always, Anityam. That is only illusion. But here, instead of breaking our brain, it is far, far better to see his finger, his hand in everything. If you go through the In Quest of God, the first book of Papa, with this perspective when you read, you will find nowhere he was missing him. In different types of experiences, he is asked to get down, asked to get in, he is mocked at, bullied, always the same. So he is teaching us his very life, and through that narrative. That is Nitya, because he is established in that Nitya. He is not carried away by anything that is happening outside. Svabhavastu pravartade. In Bhagavad Gita, he says that. It's all because of the Svabhava it happened that he is in a position to understand. So we would better say that we will start accepting it. Though it is difficult, we start accepting it. Through individuals, through objects, through situation. These are the three, through which everything happens. And the situation is created by him, the vastu is created by him, person is created by him. Maya bhutam characharam. Hmm? I am there in chara and achara. So we will try to slowly accept the fact that everything is his, everything is his. I think in our 28, one point is that
Yes. Everything else is nothing belongs to us. Many are there similar.
that is also there.
Yes.
Now that this question was asked, we have been chanting for decades. But chanting becomes an activity. It has some effect, no doubt, but not to the extent which Papa expected all of us to reach. So that is why now we are introducing these dimensions while chanting. That is why Namosava, we name it as Namosava. Come on, give it to me. Book, book, oh. And another point Papa gives us is go to the origin of your and the world life. But then we know he is the origin. You were born to your parents. They were born to their parents. Page down. See him in everything and everybody. When we train ourselves to see God in all, reactions soften, compassion deepens. Chanting refines our vision, not just our beliefs. When we train ourselves to see God, that means, here Papa asks us to go to the origin, anything. That's a wonderful way of going. This tree it must have come from its seed. That seed has come from where? Another tree. That seed, tree has come from that seed. Then the seed, tree, seed, tree. First is seed. Again we go to him. Seed, bijam mam sarva bhudanam. So intellectually we understand now. Then now our struggle is to make it a reality. First intellectually we understand. When we intellectually understand, we try to handle it with love. At least the intellect will say, mind will say, nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. So Mayavadin, that's also there, but better this path. They have different explanations. Everything is varied, depends upon how we look at it. In one of his works, Adi Shankaracharya answered this. samsara swapna tulyo hi ragadveshadi sankulaha swakale swapnavadbhati prabodhe sattasattav. It is like a dream. The samsara is like a dream. But we will know that it's a dream only when we get out of it. So however much we try, we may not be able to. Because we are identifying with everything that is anitya, and then we have not identified with the reality which is always there, eternal. No? That's called nitya, eternal. And the moment we come out of this, then everything becomes clear. That's what it's okay. When you get out, when you get up to when you move to the waking state, then only you know that it was a dream. So during that, is ragadveshadi sankura, our attachment and aversion, it is there. But the moment we realize that it is all is play, then we come down and enjoy the play.
Which we can't do in a dream.
Eh?
we
Which you can't do in a dream. Their identification with that object, with the person, with the situation is total.
How we can prevent the illusion?
How can we prevent the illusion?
By-
Illusion of what?
Illusion is the dreams.
Of
Dreams.
dreams. Huh.
Dreams, we don't think that it is in our purview. Even Papa was asked, why not? He said,
You can control it.
to some extent we can say it is related to how we behave or live in our waking state. Positive thoughts,
Spiritual.
but still, the hangover may be there, unknowing. Right from your childhood, something would have been there in a subtle form. Suddenly, now, we are past, even after 80s, we find something that we experienced when we were small children that also may come out. The person whom we meet. So we don't bother about it. That is also part of the nature. Eh?
We have to live with it.
Leave it.
Live.
We have been given an option during waking state that we will make use of it. Deep sleep and dream is not within our purview now. But waking state, we feel we have got something.
When we think about God and sleep, before sleeping, we are mind, and then we don't have any illusion.
He's saying when we think of God before we sleep, then we don't get dreams.
Many people say at the moment, படுத்துன்னு தான் தெரியும், எழுந்திருக்கிறது வரை அவனுக்கு தெரியாது. என்னைக்கும் இப்படி ஆகணும்னு. That is why you are right. It is recommended, Papa always says, before you go to sleep, chant Ram Nam for some time. As soon as you get up, chant Ram Nam. So that the connection should be there, and as days go by, you might be able to fill in the gap. And a stage comes when we don't bother about it. What we do during the waking state, that gives us joy. It becomes contented. So each state, we take it as its nature, swabhava. Just like when you bite a bitter gourd, you won't complain why the bitterness, You are accepting the swabhava.
For the moment, you get bitterness. Later on,
but we should try to keep it. We accept that. That is its nature. So no prefix or suffix. And all these things, should we bother now? Why not we concentrate on the method? These are all the outcome of the method. We are trying to condition ourselves with the state to be reached. Okay? Something is needed to know some idea. Suppose you are going to Coimbatore, you must have the idea that you have to go to Coimbatore. Then only you can start the journey. Agreed. You would not have known. Somebody says this, in this train you get in, and then it reaches you. Okay. But unless and until I start, I will not reach Coimbatore. And I will definitely reach the Coimbatore when I start the process. So this also makes us think that why not we plunge ourselves into any method that is suitable for us and leave it. That means spiritual journey is not a what you call a cutout, a fixed. It's not a fixed method. Changes from person to person. One may be pure at heart, but short-tempered. No. Suppose we say short-tempered. No. That is his nature.
What about meditation?
Meditation, we have been told that it will help us because it is one of the methods by which we try to ultimately have a glimpse into the core of our being, that reality. Thoughts are preventing now, but a method by which, in our case, Nama, when we concentrate on the Nama, we concentrate on the sound, then we try to understand where from the sound comes. We try to hear our own chanting. Then all these processes will ultimately land us that you come to be, when all other thoughts are prevented, are arrested. Only one thought of Nama chanting remains. And then the stage comes when the chanting is being known, chanting is being heard, chanting is being realized. Who is chanting, who is realizing? It will stop. Automatically, you are not stopping it. You get a peep into your original being. And now we have to keep on. When we have a taste of it, we try to develop that. So in that way, this is meditation can be explained by anybody in any manner. Each one approaches it with a different. But here the meditation is stilling the mind. Stilling. That's why Papa says, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that you know and realize God. So stillness, silence, bliss, fullness, all these things are synonyms. Creativity absolute, intelligence absolute, love absolute. These are all the synonyms of stillness. It is not a dead experience, vibrant experience. So for that to understand that is our base, we have been asked to arrest all thoughts by concentrating on one thought, and finally that thought also leaves. Then we cannot explain what is that. Nobody is there to explain. So it's a state of being. Then we come back to the usual place. Then we relate. This is my original being. I am not what I assume myself to be. My whole perspective changes. And there is no otherness. Only the otherness comes when the thought comes. During your deep sleep state, there is no otherness. That is why there is no thought. There is no negative, positive thing at all. So here we have been assured that when we reach that state, we will have a direct experience of that state. This is called meditation here, stilling the mind. So we are chanting the name to arrest all thoughts, concentrate on one thought, and that thought also goes. Not easy as we talk now, toughest. Because mind is turbulent, it will not keep quiet. And this will be there only in the initial stage, only for a trice. We have to continuously practice. That is why we are asked to go early in the morning when the mind is fresh. When we have not reacted, we have not talked to anybody. Then the mind is fresh. At that time, we chant for some time and then pray to him. Papa also advises us to have a dialogue with him. And with that background, when we try, mental chanting will help us. Mental chanting. And finally, how the chanting itself gets stopped. And what is that state we cannot say. It's a state of being. Mind may try to interpret. Immediately we should say stop. Because it is the boundary, only up to some boundary the mind can travel. Then the thought itself dissolves. Papa used to say, for our sake, the drinker and the drink become one. He also said, no, the chanter and the chanted become one. The devotee and God become one. So who is there to express? Up to only that level we can say. Inexpressible. Agrahyam, achintyam. Anirvachyam. These are the words we use. Inexpressible. Intellect cannot grasp it. Agrahyam. We cannot think about that. Achintyam. And how can I know? These are all the methods through which I come to understand. Yes, these are all available for your knowledge. For this, you have to drop all these things. Probably we can relate to that question answer. How can we experience the presence of God while chanting? Experiencing the presence of God is beyond words. It cannot be fully expressed, only lived. Nama chanting helps prepare the ground for this inner awakening. How? Each one should try. Among the various spiritual practices, chanting the divine name is especially recommended because of its simplicity. It can be practiced anywhere, at any time. But we must remember that chanting is meant for remembrance. Otherwise, it will slip into mechanical, lip level, superficial. We begin with faith in the words of the Guru. Unless the mind is aligned with the intention of remembering him, chanting may not yield deeper results. As our efforts to remember him becomes more and more sincere and intense, guidance begins to arise, both from within and without. That means we don't have to look up to somebody for any answer. The guidance will come from within. And when we are struggling, we will see something. We will see somebody, and that will give us the answer. We are watching one situation handled by others. The feeling of his presence is the natural outcome of mindful, heartfelt chanting. It lies beyond intellectual grasp and therefore remains inexpressible. One practical aid to listen to our chanting, one practical aid is to listen to our own chanting as we chant. There are so many methods. This is one of the methods. Birut Papa says, the sound that we hear, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Mentally also. The sound that we hear is what comes out of that infinite silence. Sound can come only where there is no sound, Simple logic. We are now walking. That movement is possible because there is a movementless substratum called the earth for us. Changes can happen only on a changeless substratum. The screen is and various apps, so many things come and go, So it can happen only on a changeless substratum. Similarly, the sound that we hear is what comes out of that infinite silence. When we repeat the mantra aloud, oh, we tune ourselves to the sound. If we tune, if the mind is going elsewhere, no. Produced by it. And through the sound, we enter into the perfection, stillness within us. One method. Where from the sound comes, you are asking yourself. You can hear your sound. Then you are trying to find out where from the sound came. In the case of Gandhiji and Papa, we have read many a times that they get the inner guidance through the sound, just like you and I talk. So people were finding it difficult to understand this, According to us, the sound should come from a outside. But when we watch our own sound, it becomes clear. So the sound, we try to understand the sound must come from somewhere, So that the infinite silence can also talk to us. It was very difficult to understand initially. One day when he was asleep, suddenly he has returned. Gandhiji has returned. Suddenly, he woke up. Go on fast. How many days? 21 days. From when? From tomorrow. Next day morning he announced. Everybody said, what is this? No idea, no planning, no. Who knows? Just like an innocent child, he said, no. Same thing we used to read in Papa's. Suddenly you say fast, water fast. But who knows this is? So when the Dandi march, came, it was because of this inner calling. Then when he declared he is going to Dandi, Rajaji rushed up from Chennai to Varda and asked him, what are you talking? You are taking a pinch of salt. What has it got to do with the freedom movement? Gandhiji replies, who knows? He says go. And we all know the result. stunned. So when we try to understand that, and when we go through Papa's life, as he explained in Quest of God, in the Vision of God, clear-cut instruction. And they don't question because they have received it, no. So even if somebody says it is your own illusion, you keep it for yourself. To them it is real. Even if the whole world, what is it? Even if the whole world says that it is my own, no, still I cannot be shaken because I have heard it. And you have the freedom to interpret like that.
God, no?
Beautiful. So these are all the things, when we read, when we ponder, we connect up with our discipline, then it becomes clearer and clearer. So for that, the mind should become pure. Purity means absence of me and mine. Then only you will hear.
Practice only.
Huh?
Spirituality. Practice.
Fast.
Practice is
Huh?
important.
Practice is important. Very much. Very much. For anything and everything, practice is abhyasa.
That's the basic thing.
Not occasional, regular.
Swamiji, there's any word particularly which we can search for in Pathway to God?
The whole world.
Voice I search. Inner voice. Gandhiji was more audible than our inner voice.
Gandhiji appears to have received a message and heard actual words emerging from the inner voice, words from God. About the authenticity of this message, Gandhiji declares, I can say this, that not the unanimous verdict of the whole world against me could shake me from the belief that what I heard was the true voice of God, for the voice was more real than my very existence.
Sir, repeat that.
He's requesting to repeat it, Swamiji.
1 minute, I'm trying to. This is from the introduction. My firm belief is, Gandhiji says, that he reveals himself, God reveals himself daily to every human being, but we shut our ears to the still small voice. We shut our eyes to the pillar of fire in front of us. I realize his omnipresence. So only when we realize his omnipresence, this can become a reality. There were two occasions when Gandhiji heard divine messages. The first was in 1933, the second was in 1936. Both were connected with the problem of untouchability. The first question that has puzzled many is about the voice of God. What was it? What did I hear? Was there any person I saw? If not, how was the voice conveyed to me? These are the pertinent questions. I saw no form. These are all Gandhiji's. I have never tried for it. For I have always believed God to be without form. So no confusion for him. He also says his Ram is subtle and mysterious power. Just like Papa. But what I did hear was like a voice from afar and yet quite near. It was as unmistakable as some human voice, definitely speaking to me, and irresistible. I was not dreaming at the time I heard the voice. The hearing of the voice was preceded by a terrific struggle within me. Suddenly, the voice came upon me. I listened, made certain that it was the voice, capital V, and the struggle ceased. I was calm. Joy came over. The determination was made accordingly. The date and the hour of the fast was fixed. Joy came over. It was between 11 and 12 midnight. I felt refreshed. Could I give any other evidence that it was truly the voice I heard, that it was not an echo of my own mind? I have no further evidence to convince the skeptic. He is free to say that it was all self-delusion, hallucination. That is the purity of Gandhiji. No? It may well have been so. I can offer no proof to the contrary. But I can say this, that not the unanimous verdict of the whole world against me could shake me from the belief that what I heard was the true voice of God. For me, the voice was more real than my existence. One experience stands quite distinctly in my memory. It relates to my 21 days fast for the removal of untouchability. I had gone to sleep the night before without the slightest idea of having to declare a fast the next morning. At about 12 o'clock in the night, something wakes me up suddenly, and some voice within or without, I cannot say, whisper, "Thou must go on fast." How many days? I ask. 21 days. When does it begin? You begin tomorrow. I went quietly off to the sleep after making the decision. I did not tell anything to my companions until after the morning prayer. I placed into their hands a slip of paper announcing my decision and asking them not to argue with me as the decision is irrevocable. Well, the doctors thought that I would not survive the fast. But something within me said that I would and that I must go forward. That kind of experience has never in my life happened before or after that. This I know, that all that glitters is not gold, and also that if a man has really heard the voice of God, there is no sliding back. Yes, sir, there is no forgetting it by one who had learned to swim. The listening in must make people's lives daily richer and richer. Listening. The listening in must make people's life daily richer and richer. Papa has also mentioned this. Suddenly he will announce, Papa, water fast. Mauna and water fast.
Even Peace Pilgrim mentions of the inner voice.
So the Mahatma says that we will be, even now, intuitively we are getting that.
The people,
We are not recognizing it. That's it. Let's say you will say, suddenly it struck to me. No, you will say that. This also I also, how? Suddenly you get a turn. You take a decision. But you don't attribute it to the voice of God. That is why we felt, in the beginning, as the grip of the me and mind gets loosened, these things we will be able to experience. Because the me and mind will not prevent, otherwise it will prevent. The intellect will start, it's your own voice, your preconceived notion. All those things, it will have its own. But you know very well, it is spontaneous in nature. That is another, as somebody asked, the sign is spontaneity, simplicity, humility. Nothing comes out of a thought process. When the thought process influences in whatever we express, it will have the attachment, aversion, preference, priority, so many things. But just like a child, spontaneous. Spontaneity, simplicity, humility. So when this develops, we have been assured that we will be able to hear the inner voice. At the moment, every thought is made to process through the intellect, We cannot blame because that is how we have lived this life. Our success purely dependent upon, or even failure, dependent upon the guidance we get from the intellect. So, but intellect has been given to us to manage the outside affairs efficiently. It cannot do anything to go inward. And somebody beautifully put it, through thoughts, you can successfully live. But you cannot use the thought to know him. Through feelings, you can feel. Feeling is the expression of God. Thought is not the expression. Feeling spontaneous, love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, equilibrium. Everything is spontaneous, not out of a thought process. So the spontaneity should come in, the grip of the intellect should get loosened, Papa quotation is, you have got what do you call tongue,
You can, with the help of tongs, you can hold
tongue,
other things.
idiki. You can
hold
pick
other
this,
things. But the tongs
but the
cannot
tongue
turn back and
cannot.
hold
The tongue cannot
hands
hold
which
a
hold
hand.
it.
Intellect is like this tongue.
It cannot hold itself.
It cannot. So that is why another great person, because when we are struggling to understand, because we have only one thought, thought is the vehicle. And when they say that vehicle will not, then feeling is the expression. So he has given us the feeling to realize him. He has given us the thought to work out his will outside, in all fields. So outside knowledge has got its own validity in dealing outside matters. There you need intellect. I think it's 4:35. Good. Very, very lively discussions. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.